Giddy up like a spur, I feel like Tim Duncan, yeah. Shorty, she tweaking, she yelling and screaming. Let's get all the fussing, yeah. Let's get all the fussing, yeah. Chasing this gleaming ball like Tatum.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Harding Way. We got another episode of 94 Feet going. Second day of games played. We got to talk about one of the big hitters, Philadelphia. Now, we're not talking about the game last night. I mean, we are going to touch a little bit on it, but the main biggest thing, they had two people missing, my brother. No Joel Embiid, no Paul George. As I've coined the phrase of this video, the city of injury love. Instead of brotherly love, just injuries. So, first question of the day, we're going to kick it off like this. When I pitch to you, Isaac, Joel Embiid said, "I'm most likely to never play back to backs again," or something to that effect. Do you think him resting on all the back to backs is a good plan long term?
Well, for his health wise, obviously we've seen the history he had with injuries. It is good for him, but I don't know how that's gonna affect one, the rest of the league, and two, the team. If I'm being honest, I mean, they still have their role players that do what they do. Tyrese Maxey is obviously, gonna hoop, but it's just not. I don't think it's gonna work out in the long run. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere because chemistry is a big thing. If he's not on the floor, it's like they're gonna have to learn how to play without him and with him, and it's gonna be two different things. I feel like because I mean he's basically the number one option on that team. They play through him, so when he's not on the floor, it's like, what are we doing? If they take it off and he's not the number one option, maybe it will work out for them. But then you got Paul George, who also could be a number one option on that team if you're not putting Joel Embiid. That's the number one option, and he's always injured. So it's like him not playing back to backs. It's gonna help. He's not gonna get injured as much, maybe, but I don't think it's gonna help in the long run. Chemistry is a big thing, and like, yeah, he can still be that voice on the bench, but him being on the floor compared to him not being on the floor, we're gonna see a difference.
I'm with you, but here's the biggest part too, I think, of why this is a terrible idea all around. Yes, I understand for his little healthy knees, they'll be intact. But in all reality, let's remember the rule that's been implemented. 65 games. If you don't hit them 65 games, you're not eligible for no awards. Missing all them back-to-backs and barely playing, this man is never going to see another award again. Simple as that. I mean,
Definitely not.
like, so at this point, what are we doing? I don't think I don't see it as a great idea. It's just,
Well, he's trying to win a championship, if I'm being honest. And I mean, they're not going to beat the Celtics. I don't even think they're going to beat the Knicks right now. At first, I had them over the Knicks, but I don't think they're going to beat the Knicks right now. And I know it was one game, but you saw what the Celtics just did to the Knicks. The Knicks are not beating the Celtics in a 7-game series whatsoever.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying? So it's just I don't think that's going to work out for them. He's not getting another award. He's probably not going to make it to the finals at all,
in
unless he
reality,
goes to a different team.
well,
I
here's
feel
an
like,
he-
and he's gonna have to
well,
take a step back and not be the number one option for him to do that.
you're not wrong. In reality, too, here's my other thing of why the finals are pretty much unachievable for this team if they're going to have guys in and out. Come playoff time, the chemistry is going to be off as you've already said.
Yep.
The whole like at this point, you're learning a bunch of different playbooks on what if we have Embiid. What if we have only Paul George? What if we have both of them? What if we have none of them? That's four different little options, combinations right there. That's four different ways you're playing.
I
Bananas.
mean,
Also,
we saw what it looked like without Paul George and Embiid last night. They played well, but not well enough. And I understand the Bucks are healthy, but like, you know what I'm saying? Tyrese Maxey can't do him by himself. And I know Kelly Oubre showed up. Kyle Lowry had 13. Uh, Jared McCain got a little bit of light. Martin did his thing. Caleb Martin. And Andre Drummond had a double double. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they can come together, but I don't think it's gonna work in the long run. They probably gonna be a playing team, if I'm being honest, if they even make that.
yes, right there. I give them right now. Honestly, the highest they were ever reaching was a 4 seed at best. Anyway, you missing them for half your season, you're sliding down the ranks. But also too with this thing, if anything, now you're coming in the play in, right? If you're the Sixers, you're now going to have everybody healthy, supposedly, in theory, start then. These guys have not put themselves through a season playing the full season. So now you expect them to both jump out here, a Paul George and an Embiid, and go 25 to 30 games almost, as long as that's about how long as the series almost in theory would be. And
Right.
around that little, every series goes about 6, 7 games. Add a playing game, we're looking at 25 games. You expect Embiid now to go on a tear in those 20 to 25 straight games with no issue, even though he's not even played that many games consecutively in a row. Because yes, I know what the NBA playoffs is rest day, but in a sense, you're basically playing for 2 months straight if you're getting to the championship.
Honestly, I mean, you see how some players get drained. I mean, even Anthony Edwards, he was hooping last year, and he said, "I'm exhausted." If he's that young saying that, what you think is going to happen to Paul George and Embiid?
Yeah,
They not going to make it far, and if they do, they're going to struggle.
yeah. I mean, I put it like this: in a world where this actually works in theory, and they crack a four seed, I think personally the Pacers will be there at the fifth seed, and they'll probably put them out their misery. That's how
Hmm.
I feel. Because at this point, I don't think this idea is sustainable. And the way they were talking last night, they made the theory sound real great, where it's like he heals up, he'll be healthy by the postseason. I was like, but he's gonna only play like 30 games and barely be as broken in as everybody else. As in on the perfect point that you made, you got to basically learn a whole bunch of different playbooks. So now, if you're Tyrese Maxey, you're going half the season being top dog with no issue, or you're being second in command with Paul George there, and now you have to playoff time, first game. Now you're the third guy, and you've only had to experience this probably, let's give it like 15 to 20 times the whole season.
See, this might be a crazy take, but I feel like what's going to happen to Tyrese Maxey unless they let him just hoop, and if they play through Tyrese Maxey, they might see a better light. But if they do what they did with James Harden when Paul George is here, you're gonna see Tyrese Maxey hoop every once in a while. But he's gonna be the third option, and that's not what he deserves, if I'm being honest,
No,
at all. I mean, he's doing his thing. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to, and he's been doing it for a couple of years now. Yeah, he had that breakout season or whatever last year because Harden left, but
well,
you know what I'm
also
saying?
Embiid was injured. He pretty
Embiid was
much
injured, exactly, so he was able to do his thing. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like with Maxi, it's gonna be kind of like the DiVincenzo effect. Obviously, his is a little more greater because he's a better player individually, but and I mean he makes more of an impact. But DiVincenzo had his breakout season last year. You saw what the Knicks was finna look like. He wasn't trying to go to the bench. I feel like we saw Tyrese Maxey do his thing. I don't think he wants to become the third option again.
why
So
would you?
I mean, who would?
Exactly. I'm like, why
You
would
know
you
what I'm
want to?
saying? So, and I also understand why Paul George and Embiid don't want to be the third option, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand why. I mean, Embiid, that's his team. Trust the process. He's been doing it since he got there. The process is up. It's time to move on.
So, are you saying they should trade Embiid?
I mean, what is he really doing for them? He brought them to conference finals.
No,
Am
he
I
hasn't
wrong?
been to. He hasn't cracked the conference finals.
Yeah. So he hasn't made it past the second round.
No,
He got one MVP. Did he win Rookie of the Year?
no, he was out all his rookie year.
All right. So like, if we being honest, what is he doing for them?
Me, not a hosh darn thing.
I feel like they're just holding on to hope
Yeah.
at this point. I mean, they still trying to trust the process, and the process been up.
Mm.
Honestly, the process been up when Kawhi hit that shot.
I was gonna say the same. When
But
Jimmy Butler left, the process was over. Tobias
yeah,
Harris over
they
me.
they
It
kept
was
they kept Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. That was insane. The process was over then. But then when they were up against the Celtics, 3 games to 2, am I
yeah.
bugging?
Yep. That was
And
that
Celtics
was the
came
second
back.
time it died.
Yeah, that time they should have chopped it up and got a new plan.
That was the second time it died. When Tatum ever in Game 7 put up 51, right there. When they fired Doc Rivers and didn't try to run that team back, the process died right there, in my opinion.
Literally.
If not the first time with the Kawhi shot, that time the process
Yeah,
died.
nah. I mean, I understand the emotions, but seeing Embiid cry like that on national TV, the process was up. It was time to move on
Oh,
from the
goodness.
process. I'm just being honest.
Mm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, lesson of the day, don't trust the process. Thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all want to like and subscribe and hit those links, things down below, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, like the Harding way, peace.